video on clearing the fractions, part 2. Okay, and here's a question. Let's look at this one. Now, a lot of you have asked, when do we put the denominator back? Some of you are saying, well, on some cases we weren't putting the denominator back. But we'll go over that. So here's an expression. So when you see an expression, you don't see an equal sign, you know you're going to have a denominator. So let's clear the fractions first. So I'll write this over. We're going to put everything over 1. That's a whole number here. So we'll have 2w over 5 minus 8 over 1 plus w over 1. So it's still an expression. And the lowest common denominator is 5. So we'll just put a 5 up there. And 5 goes into 5 once, right? And so we'll just be left with 2w. 1 goes into 5 5 times, and 5 times 8 is 40. And 1 goes into 5 5 times, so 5 times w is 5w. Okay, so now we have, this is what we have, but we're not done yet. We can combine like terms. We can combine the 2w plus the 5w, and we'll have 7w minus 40. Okay, and remember, since this is an expression, we have to remember that we have to bring back the original denominator, which we said was 5. So this would be our answer. 7w minus 40 over 5. Now, if we're just looking to find what w was in an expression, we wouldn't put the denominator back. Let's look at an example. Something like this, right? Let's make it clearer. Now, here we can clearly try to find what w is because we have an equal sign. So let's do the same thing. Let's clean it up a little bit. 2w over 5 minus 8 over 1 plus w over 1 equals 4w over 1 plus 2 over 1. And again, the common denominator is 5. So I'll put a little 5 up there. So again, 5 goes into 5 once. 1 times 2w is 2w. Okay, we have 1, we have a minus here now. 1 goes into 5 5 times, we have a 40. 1 goes into 5 5 times, we have a 5w. 1 goes into 5 5 times 4w is 20w. And 1 goes into 5 5 times 2 is 10. Alright, so let's combine like we did before, and we have 7w minus 40 equals 20w plus 10. Okay, so now we can get rid of one of the w's, doesn't matter which one we do, and one of the constants. So some people just use the smaller ones, doesn't matter really. We'll get rid of the 7w on both sides. Now we have a minus 40 equals 20 minus 7w. We're going to have a 13w plus 10. Okay, now I can minus the 10 on both sides. It crosses out. Now it's a minus 40 minus 10, so that'll be a minus 50 equals 13w. Let me bring this up so we can see. Now we can divide 13 on both sides, and we're just finding out w here. So w equals negative 50 over 13. Okay, let's do one more. And if you can do this one, you should be able to do any clearing of the fractions. So first let's clean it up. Let's put all the w's in the numerator. We'll get something like this. Okay. Now here we should have brackets actually. And we want to do inside the brackets. Let's clean this up. So remember, this is a minus minus, so we can make it a plus plus. So we can clean that up first too. Again, if you do that, you'll get the negative 2/3 plus 5. And you can add those together before we distribute. And you'll get a 13 over 3. So now we can multiply a negative 2w times 13 over 3. We can do that. So take your time when you're doing this. So if we do that, we'll have w over 3 minus 26w over 3 equals 4w over 5 plus 6 over 1. So again, what we did, let's just go back so you understand that. Remember, we took negative 2/3 plus 5. We got 13 over 3. We had a negative 2w, so now it's negative 2w times 13 over 3. We have to multiply this out here. And when we did that, remember, negative plus a positive will give us a negative answer, so we're left with this. Now we can see that the common denominator is 15, because 3 goes into 15 and 5 goes into 15. So we have 15 as our common denominator. I'm going to bring that over. Okay, so 3 goes into 15 5 times, and 5 times w is 5w. We have a minus here, remember. 3 goes into 15 5 times, and 5 times 26 is 130, so it'll be 130w. Then we have 5 goes into 15 3 times, and 3 times 4 is 12w. Okay, and then we have 1 goes into 15 15 times, and 15 times 6 is 90. So clean that up, we'll get this. Now we can combine like terms. We can't do anything with the 90, but we can combine the 5w minus a 130w. This will be a minus 125w equals 12w plus 90. Now we can't get rid of the negative 125w, because then we'll get a 0. We don't want that. With quadratics we want zeros, but we'll go over that in another video. So now we'll get rid of the 12w on both sides by minusing it, because remember that's positive there. Okay, and now we're left with a minus 125, a negative 125w minus 12w, and that gives us a negative 137w equals 90. Okay, now we just want to find what w is, so we're going to divide the 137 on both sides. Remember, it's negative. Don't forget the negative. So here we have w. W is 90. So here we'll write it here. W equals a negative 90 over 137. So we cleared the fractions. We don't have to put the numerator back in because we're just trying to find what w is. So if you can do that, pretty much do any clearing of the fractions. So don't forget to rewind the tape. Great job.